from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Everyone, good evening. This is the National News Broadcast coming to you live from the Rupavahini studios. Bringing you your stories for today is Lakshita Edrisingha together with Sharama Screen News. First, let's look at the day's headlines.
Price reductions in liter gas cylinders with effect from tonight. Issuance of second quota of fuel under the QR system begins. The President of Egypt expresses optimism of Sri Lankan President leading the country towards prosperity. Discussions between the Election Commission and the party representatives over several issues, including controlling of election-related expenditure. The Samagi Janabalavege says it has contested in the last general election with the objective of remaining in a position. A Russian attack on an arms depot where NATO weapons were stored.
On to those and other stories in detail, starting off with local news. The price of a litre of gas cylinder has been reduced with effect from midnight tonight. Accordingly, the price of 12.5 kilogram domestic gas cylinder will come down by 246 rupees. The new price of a 12.5 kilogram domestic gas cylinder will be 4,664 rupees. The price of a 5 kilogram domestic gas cylinder has also been reduced by 99 rupees, and the new price of this size of cylinder is 1,872 rupees for litre gas cylinder. The price of a 2.3 kilogram domestic gas cylinder has also declined by 45 rupees, making the new price of this type of cylinder as 869 rupees.
Now, the issuance of the second quota under the National Fuel Pass or the QR methodology has gotten underway midnight yesterday.
Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara says that as in the first installment, which began last week, each type of vehicles will be given the same quota this week as well. Distribution of fuel under the methodology has been carried out successfully throughout the island today as well. Our correspondents say that they have observed drastic reductions in the length of queues at filling stations with the implementation of the current program. More than 5.5 million registered vehicles have received fuel under the QR code system from the 1st of this month till midnight yesterday. Outside of this program, 107 SLTB depots are also issuing fuel for private buses. A discussion was conducted at the ministry today regarding the commencement of a program to provide fuel under a separate QR methodology on behalf of the SLTB and private buses engaged in public transport. The meeting was presided over by Ministers Kanchana Vijayasekara and Dr. Bandula Gunawardena. It has also been decided to issue fuel for common transport services through the SLTB fuel depots and the filling stations in Makumbara and Bastian Mawatha until the implementation of the proposed program. Attention has also been focused to provide an additional quantity of fuel in addition to the common fuel quota for professional three-wheelers and hiring vehicles after evaluating separately their fuel requirements. Representatives of 15 professional three-wheeler associations and hired vehicles associations have also participated in the discussion. President of the Egypt Arab Republic, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, says that President Ranil Wickremesinghe is able to carry out Sri Lanka to progress and prosperity.
The Egyptian leader, in a message of congratulations, further says that the government is optimistic of Sri Lanka's success. President al-Sisi, extending best wishes to President Wickremesinghe, also hopes that every effort of the Sri Lankan leader to fulfill the aspirations of the Sri Lankan people would be realized. He also points out in his message that he is eagerly awaiting to further strengthen bilateral relations in order to guarantee a more prosperous future for the friendly people of the two countries. President of the Czech Republic, Miloš Zeman, in a message of congratulations to President Ranil Wickremesinghe, also extends best wishes for President Ranil Wickremesinghe to effectively face the present challenges in Sri Lanka.
Chairman of the Elections Commission, Nimal Punchiyeva, has presided over a discussion between the representatives of the Election Commission and the political parties. The objective of the meeting held at the Elections Commission office in Rajagiriya was to receive the opinions of the party representatives for the implementation of proposals presented by the Parliamentary Select Committee on the revision of election laws. Invitations have been extended for all political parties representing Parliament to attend the discussion. Attorney at Law Susil Vatagala said that under the previous law, the authority to conduct a provincial council election comes under the conducting of a local government election in September. It has also been stated that a date for the local government election will be set after the conclusion of the revision of nominations in October. The Attorney at Law has also called on to have more opinions of the general election. He added that there had also been talks that the President should dissolve the legislature after the month of February. Parliamentarian Ranjit Manduma Bandara said that we have requested to immediately conduct the two elections. He added that they will also with all the other party programs. Ranjit Manduma Bandara also said no member in the Samagi Jana Balawegaya would join the government. Parliamentarian Sagar Karyavasan said that it is mandatory to hold a local government election. In addition, a parliamentary election is also required. He added that it is the opinion that it would take some time to hold a general election. Parliamentarian Lasantha Alagiyawanna said that talks on an all-party government are underway. He has expressed hope that talks would conclude in a constructive manner. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has issued a communique on the outcome of the discussion held this morning. It has pointed out that an agreement has been reached at the meeting over speedy implementation of the recommendations prior to the conducting of a scheduled election. Accordingly, the agreements have been reached regarding management of election expenditures, extension of facilities to cast votes beforehand, setting up of special voting centres on election day, fortification of youth and women's representation in election, and an enforcement of criteria for all media during the period of elections. Other factors that have been agreed include a validation of Code of Ethics declared by the Election Commission and to extend a legal validity for such principles.
In the meantime, opposition leader parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa reiterates the need to implement a national program through common agreement in order to bring the country out of the present crisis. He further says that he is ready to extend the cooperation needed in this regard. The leader of the opposition has made these observations at the opening of former Kegalle District Provincial Councillor Lakshman Kodikara's Samagi Jana Balawegaya office. Opposition leader parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa said that at present a distorted outlook in all levels prevails in the country. This abnormality is being reflected through queues for food, petrol, diesel, gas and kerosene, as well as on high prices for these commodities. Such a situation did not exist in the year 2019. The economic distortion enhances poverty. Even the middle class, which led a reasonably fair livelihood, is also confronted by economic income disparities and consumer item shortages. The ill-fated nature is seen in all aspects of economic and social environment. The opposition leader added that, however, that the biggest state of deformity is seen in the political sector. When politics is distorted, the entire country becomes a place of distortion. The country has been entangled in a trap. Sajith Premadasa further said that in order to safeguard ourselves and the country, it has become necessary to implement a national program based on common consensus of all citizens.
Samagi Jana Balawegaya parliamentarian S.M. Marika says that his party has contested the last general election with the objective of remaining in opposition. Addressing a media briefing in Colombo today, he added that therefore there is no need to join the government to receive ministerial portfolios.
Samagi Jana Balawegaya parliamentarian Tissa Thanayaka said that in response to the invitation extended by the President for them to join the all-party government, the SJB has focused the attention of the President on several issues. The parliamentarian further said they have very clearly assured the President that the party will constantly extend all support to bring the country out of the present situation. He further said that therefore they have requested to withdraw the state of emergency and to govern the country under the normal law. Tissa Thanayaka added that they have also told not to attempt to hunt protesters and to empower the 22nd Amendment.
අපි සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම මේ තත්ත්වයෙන් රට ගොඩ ගැනීම සඳහා ගන්න උත්සාහයට අපේ දායකත්වය දක්වන්නම් කියලා. ඒ සඳහා අපි යෝජනාවක් හැටියට කළා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ.
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana says that all political leaders must join the all-party government, setting aside their petty political objectives.
It has been pointed out at a media briefing of the SLPP today that the present challenges confronting the country could be overcome only through an all-party government. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana parliamentarian Sahan Pradeep Vitana said that the responsibility of all party leaders at this moment on contributing to resurrect the country and not to dwell on their party policies. Those capable parliamentarians should display their skills by taking over the responsibility to govern the country. If all fail to join hands at the time of collapse, all expectations of the people would be dashed. Parliamentarian Sahan Pradeep has questioned whether there is a law in the country when suspects are being shot in front of judges. A special discussion on the present situation should be conducted in Parliament. He also said that they have a question whether the present developments were the results of the agitation. The law of the land has fled to the jungle. Some people are making use of this situation. Prolonged struggles will not help to bring the country out of the crisis. He added that they are able to make the change the country is yearning. It is the President and the Parliament that have the powers to make the change. Parliamentarian Sahan Pradeep has requested the proposals of reforms to an all-party government. He also said that the protesters should give a reasonable time for the government to resolve the issue.
Political Council member of the Janatha Vimukthi Peramuna Sunil Handunethi said at a media briefing in Colombo today that their party will inform the President tomorrow why they do not join an all-party government. Political Council member of the Janatha Vimukthi Peramuna Sunil Handunethi said that the President has invited them for talks on the same basis of meeting other parties. He added that, however, they will join talks with the President, but they will not go for an all-party administration. Sunil Handunethi also said that the present government is a government without a people's mandate. Therefore, this is an extremely unreasonable government and it has no people's mandate to govern. Convener of the Health Trade Union Collective, Saman Ratnapir, says that it is astonishing to find a particular political organisation objecting an all-party government at a time when majority of the parties representing Parliament have agreed on the formation of such a government. He has made these remarks at a media briefing in Colombo today. Convener of the Health Trade Union Collective, Saman Ratnapriya, said that they have observed some minority groups calling for an election when the majority of them are engaged in discussions to establish an all-party government. This is a problematic situation, he added, that only through the unity of a political parties that Sri Lanka would be able to receive the international cooperation to confront the economic crisis. That is why the President is calling for consensus on the formation of an all-party alliance. He also said that the Samagi Jana Balavege has agreed to extend their support. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party as well as Tamil and Muslim political parties have also extended their cooperation. Saman Ratnapir further said that, however, the Janatha Vimukthi Peramuna has published a statement saying that it does not extend support for an all-party administration. This is a puzzling situation which they have not anticipated. The people in the country are yearning for an environment to breathe in freedom. Therefore, it is imperative for all to join hands. The omission of one or two groups in this endeavour has become a problem.
Today marks the completion of 122 days in the Galle phase protest. A large number of tents in the Gota Gogama has already been evacuated. The removal of structures has been carried out according to a notification by the police on the 5th of this month.
Police protection has been provided to the protest site. Steps have been taken yesterday to remove the library located at the premises. Meanwhile, the Colombo Fort Magistrate Courts has ordered today to release on bail General Secretary of the Lanka Teachers Union, Joseph Starling, who is currently under detention. Fort Magistrate Thilina Gamage has instructed to free the suspect on 2 surety bails of 500,000 rupees each. The bail order was delivered upon consideration of a bail request submitted through a motion by the council appearing on behalf of Joseph Stalin, who will remain under detention till the 12th of this month. The court has also ordered to release on bail through surety bails of 500,000 rupees each of soldier Amal Salinda, who has been kept under military police custody over charges of violating judicial orders. The Fort Police Station has taken the suspect into custody on the 28th of May this year on several charges, including conducting an agitation disregarding court orders. The Fort Police has informed the judiciary that both suspects have been taken into custody for engaging in protests in areas where the court has banned the entrance of persons. The Colombo Central Divisional Crime Investigation Unit is conducting inquiries into the arresting of suspects charged with causing damages to properties of the President's house by forcefully entering on the 9th of July this year. Accordingly, the suspects have been identified by means of social media website reports and CCTV footages. The Police Media Division in a communique says public assistance is being sought to identify 32 suspects whose identities were hitherto not being able to be established. The police calls on the general public to convey any information regarding the suspects to telephone numbers 071-859-1559 or 071-808-5585 or to the hotline 1997.
With that, we take a look at more local news items in brief. Minister Mahinda Amaravira has instructed Secretary of his ministry, Mrs. Chandra Herath, to conduct an immediate investigation into the death of a leopard in the upcountry Summerhill plantation in Hatton recently. A group of investigating officials has already left for the Summerhill estate today. Administration of the 150-year-old Bogala graphite mine has decided to enhance the quality of the graphite being mined and to export the produce. Instead of exporting them as a raw material, they will be processed in the form of an essential liquid to be used in the casting industry. It has been evaluated that such a measure would enable to earn a higher income. A group including chairperson of the Bogala graphite mines, Mrs. Coralie Peters, was present at the occasion of the installation of necessary machinery at the time. A fire has erupted at the Eludalukanda located ahead of Badula town last night. The mountainous range is considered as an extremely sensitive environmental zone and many communication towers are installed at this location. The Sri Lanka Army has taken measures to extinguish the fire. However, the Badula Disaster Management Unit says an extent of around 40 acres has been destroyed by the fire. An arts exhibition organized by the Sri Dalada Malika has commenced at the Queen's Hotel, Kandy, yesterday. More than 1,000 drawings are being displayed under the theme Asala Peraharai Situam Pelaharai. The first Randoli Perahara of the historic Kandy Asala Festival has paraded the streets last night. The pageant has commenced travelling in the southern direction at the auspicious time of 7:44 p.m. The Indiraja Tusker of the Sri Dalada Maligawa carried the casket of sacred relics. It was accompanied by other majestic elephants, Burma Raja and Mian Raja. The fire-walking ceremony of the Asala festival of the historic Ruhunumaha Kataragama Devalaya has taken place in front of the Valyamma Devalaya in the Kataragama sacred site at 9 a.m. today. The walking across the Great Fire is scheduled to take place at 4 a.m. tomorrow with the participation of more than 300 devotees. The 11th Perahara of the Kataragama Devalaya is scheduled to parade the streets tonight. The final Mahaperahara will be conducted on the 11th of this month, and the festival comes to an end with the water cutting ceremony in the Manik River on the 12th of this month.
An event not to be missed. August 8th today is designated for International Cat Day every year. In order to recognize and honor the cats, the International Fund for Animal Welfare established a celebration. After all, people have been fascinated by these fuzzy, tiny critters for centuries. International Cat Day honors one of humanity's most enduring and adorable companions, cats. These diminutive yet intelligent creatures have long coexisted peacefully as members of the human family. They also make us all giggle with their cute and amusing behavior. Who doesn't enjoy watching videos of cats? Really, everywhere, International Cat Day is celebrated with tremendous excitement to show our appreciation for our furry feline pets.
In the meantime, Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva has instructed officials to complete the construction targets of the Colombo Harbour Eastern Terminal as scheduled. This was disclosed at a progress evaluation meeting held at the Ministry Auditorium today. The Sri Lanka Ports Authority is extending financial contributions for the development projects in the eastern terminal of the harbour. With that, we move into a short break. Stay tuned with us. News from overseas coming your way afterwards.
හොඳම දේ විශ්වාසයෙන් ට්‍රීට් කරන්න. Prima Treats. Life is a treat.
People's Remittance இடமிருந்து நாளாந்தம் 10,000 ரூபாய், வாராந்தம் பெறுமதியான தங்க பவுன், மாதாந்தம் 1 மில்லியன் ரூபாவுடன் வருட இறுதி மாபெரும் சீட்டிழப்பில் 1 கோடி ரூபாய். நீங்கள் வெளிநாட்டிலிருந்து மக்கள் வங்கியினூடாக பணம் அனுப்பும் போது பரிசு குவியல். People's Remittance, கோடி அதிர்ஷ்டம், அனுப்பவும் வெல்லவும்.
Welcome back as we take a look at foreign news. In the Nikolaev region, an arsenal that stored 45,000 tons of ammunition recently supplied to the Ukrainian armed forces by NATO countries has been destroyed, the ministry stated, adding that Russian forces eliminated 5 other ammo depots.
The Russian army conducted strikes on the deployment points of units of Ukraine's 72nd Mechanized Brigade at an agricultural facility in the Donetsk People's Republic city of Armetsvor, wiping out 130 soldiers and 8 transport and armored vehicles, the ministry's statement read. Moscow's forces. The ministry continued also used high-precision air-based missiles to attack a howitzer battery of Ukraine's 95th Air Assault Brigade in the village of Dehings in DPR. According to the statement, the strike killed up to 70 service members, destroying 3 S-1 self-propelled guns and 4 vehicles. Australian airline Qantas has asked senior executives to work as baggage handlers for 3 months as it tries to tackle an acute labour shortage.
The firm's head of operations is looking for at least 100 volunteers to work at Sydney and the Melbourne airports. Tasks include loading and unloading bags as well as driving vehicles to move luggage around airports. Like much of the global airline industry, Qantas is struggling to resume its services as borders reopen. Qantas was among airlines hit hard by the pandemic as countries closed their borders, grounding planes. The industry laid off thousands of staff during the pandemic, many of which were ground staff. Senior executives at Qantas are being asked to trade their high-profile positions to work as ground handlers as part of a plan to combat labour shortages. The embattled airline's chief operating officer Colin Hughes told staff in an internal memo that Qantas is seeking expressions of interest for a contingency program over a 3-month period.
Terima Kotumi Pantan.
And on sports news tonight, as we had a lot of excitement last week with the Commonwealth Games, we had our 18-year-old bronze medalist returning to the island today. Netmi Hainsa has brought pride and also much celebration.
Wrestler Netmi Ahimsa represented the country in the 57-kilogram wrestling event. Netmi Ahimsa competed against an Australian national and won the event in 1 minute and 51 seconds. She has entered history as the youngest Sri Lankan contestant to receive a medal at the Commonwealth Games. This was also the first media in wrestling, or rather the first medal in wrestling received by Sri Lanka at the Games. She was welcomed upon arrival at the airport by the officials of the Ministry of Sports, representatives of the Wrestling Association and her parents.
And on to Davis tennis now. We are very proud to be the host nation for the international tennis tournament that's taking place from today.
The Davis Cup tennis tournament organized by the International Tennis Federation has commenced in Colombo today. Competitors from 7 countries, including Sri Lanka, are participating in the tournament. The Sri Lankan team is comprised of several players, including Harshana Godamanna, Yasitha De Silva and Tehan Wijayamanna. The event is scheduled to end on the 13th of this month. A match between St. Joseph and Isipathana colleges in the inter-school rugby tournament organized by the Sri Lanka Rugby Federation was conducted at the Havelock grounds in Colombo yesterday. The Isipathana team won the match 16-13.
Terima Kotumi Pantan. Tan.
That's it. That's a look at Rupavahini News for tonight. Together with the rest of the team, we'd like to wish you a very pleasant evening. Have a great week.